I came to Howard High School in 1933. When I made my dresses in 12th grade, Mrs. Helen Anderson Webb was my sewing teacher. This is the dress that I wore for graduation, and we made it in her class, had to do all the buttons and everything. And also, this is the dress that we bought the material in Philadelphia and made for my senior prom. Mrs. Webb was very particular. Everything had to be done perfectly. If it wasn't, she'd rip it out, and you'd have to do it all over again. But many of the girls in the class made their graduation dresses at that time, and she was an excellent, excellent sewing teacher.
My connection with Howard High School goes back many years. My father was a graduate of Howard High School in the class of 1904. When my mother graduated from college in Boston, Massachusetts, her first job was in Wilmington, Delaware. And so she came to Howard to teach English in the English department with a minor in music. She stayed there for many years and then went out on maternity leave, and this young lady knew her.
Yes, and I was very angry because she left with her maternity leave when she should have been teaching me.
All right. Your mother also taught night school. She taught night school at Howard.
In those days, there were a lot of people who worked in the daytime, but who had not been able to go to school, so they didn't know how to read and write. So she asked the Board of Education if she couldn't use one of the schools to teach them at night, and they said, sure. So that's what she did. So they had everything. She decided that the elementary books were not for adults, so she used the Bible and newspapers as textbooks, and they learned that. And she thought they should have music, so they had all kinds of music.
In night school?
Oh, yeah. They gave cantatas. She had a student council so they could learn about elections and voting and so forth.
Prohibited from attending junior high and high schools reserved for whites, African American children often had to travel great distances to continue their education beyond the 6th grade. Howard High School, the only free black high school in the state, was over 100 miles from communities in southern Delaware.
You finished the Frankfurt School 9th grade. What did you do then?
Well, you only had two options. You got a job either on the farm or in some industry there, and it was limited industry, or you had to find a way to go to another school.
At the time that I started school, we had to be bused. There was a bus that came up from Delaware City. Mr. Earl Perry owned the little bus. He picked up the children in Delaware City and in Newcastle and in Buttonwood and a few students on Newcastle Avenue and took us to Howard High School.
11th grade, I rode the bus. My dad purchased a bus to transport youngsters from southern Sussex County to Millsboro, Delaware, where another person that had purchased a bus would take youngsters that he had picked up in Millsboro and the surrounding areas and take them to the Richard Allen School in Georgetown.
The thing that was so bad was the parents had to pay for their transportation for 3 months, and then the state would reimburse them. So many of the children in Delaware City that finished 8th grade there could not go to high school because they did not have the money to pay for 3 months transportation to get their money refunded. There were very few from Delaware City that were able to continue their education after 8th grade because of the cost of transportation.
That was a hardship. Some people couldn't afford it financially, and many people dropped out of school, talented people. We don't know how many of them became disillusioned and discouraged. It's frustrating to think of what happened during the days of segregation.
The 1954 Supreme Court decision, Brown versus Board of Education of Topeka, Kansas, declared school segregation unconstitutional. Lewis L. Redding, who was part of the legal team that argued the Brown case, led this effort.
Along with a group of other early civil rights workers, with Lou Redding being one of the shining lights, we launched out in turning Wilmington around, and Delaware. We were just like gadflies, and we would go down to Dover and talk. We would go to the schools and picket, and we would talk to the principals, the superintendent of schools, until finally, I guess they got weary of seeing us. And then also, we had a great deal of help from the national office of the NAACP. They sent people down because they were used to negotiating. And so they helped us considerably also, until finally we broke through in victory. We still kept on because, as you know, they were wanting to do as little as possible. And we were determined that we would be equal.
Segregation is our enemy. It must be removed. Segregation is our enemy. It must be removed, just like a tree that's planted by the water. We shall not be moved.
In the era of desegregation, Black students began to attend schools with whites and had greater opportunities to attend high school.
Woke up this morning with my mind and it was stay.
Some of the early DuPont schools continue to be used by a new generation of students.
Stay on freedom.
Others are being restored and rebuilt for new uses.
Stay on freedom.
The bake sale is a fundraiser so we can restore the school. We'd love to keep it in the history of the school with us.
What is this to benefit?
The school here, we're trying to restore.
Oh, this is that chimney that you said never comes down. It looks pretty strong.
Yes, it does.
Now, when did the school burn?
It burned on February the 1st, the first day of Black History in 1990.
1990.
A lot of us cried the night it got on fire. We loved the school. And so we just didn't want to see it leave the community.
This is one of the first schools that DuPont built for the Negro children. And 1922, he built it. Christiana 111C, that's the name of this one. There's something that we need to have this fundraiser to restore because it's something we have in the community for years, and we weren't even allowed to go to a school that we passed every day to come to school. We had to walk past that school to come to this school.
When you had the potbelly stove, where did you put the potbelly stove?
Right there where you see the hole coming through on the other side. The teacher was right in the front, and then the desks and all was behind.
Well, I can go back to my high school days when our slogan was making stepping stones from stumbling blocks. And we were determined to do that, and we did it. We succeeded.
Woke up this morning with my mind and it was stay on freedom. Woke up this morning with my mind and it was stay on freedom. Woke up this morning with my mind and it was stay on freedom. Hallelujah, 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 hallelujah.